What? How did that happen? I'm a Nazi? Critical thinking. Yeah, so apparently there's a teacher who's saying that anybody who subscribes or retweets Pewdiepie is a Nazi or a white supremacist promoter. I'm Ichitaku Talk. Today we're going to be talking about the ridiculous allegations of the media against Pewdiepie. So where did this come from? Well, where did today's clip come from?
By every time you retweet one of these things, or every time you promote this idea, you are promoting ignorance, racism, genocide, anti-Semitism. These are all things that you are putting forward when you are doing anything that promotes Pewdiepie. So be careful about this. If someone decided to, if something were to happen, if Pewdiepie were to be sued for this, you could be complicit.
Sued by who?
They could make you pay a fine as well, because you have officially published anti-Semitic things. So if you are republishing this stuff, you could get in trouble for it. Be very aware that that is a real thing.
No? Okay. So, this teacher's blowing things way out of proportions. I don't even understand how he can take this opinion. Reason tweeted, our history teacher told us that by supporting Pewdiepie, we are supporting an anti-Semitism, racism, ignorance, etc. He also said that Wall Street Journal is a very reputable news source. How ignorant can you get? The political arguments are more and more ironic daily. Does supporting Pewdiepie make you a racist? Yes or no? I'm gonna say no. Oh, I'm not logged in. That's okay. I'm guessing this is an overwhelming no. So, just like you can't save the world by liking or sharing something, you can't turn the world into white supremacists just by subscribing or retweeting something. It's impossible. So let's actually look at how you can determine if you have these negative personality traits that we're actually targeting when we say Nazi. So there's excessive self-love, also known as narcissism. There's manipulative attitude, which is also called Machiavellianism. And then there's a lack of empathy, which is also associated with psychopaths and sociopaths. And then the second test that we'll look at is authoritarianism. Start. Alright. It is not wise to tell your secrets. So it goes from disagree to agree. Middle is neutral. It's not wise to tell your secrets. I'm pretty open, as you guys can tell. I like to talk, so I'm going to disagree. People see me as a natural leader. Probably not. Neutral. I like to get revenge on authorities. No. I like to use clever manipulation to get my way. I like logic and facts. I hate being the center of attention. I'm making a YouTube channel, so we'll say agree. I avoid dangerous situations. Probably neutral. Whatever it takes, you must get to the important people on your side. No. Everybody has their own interests, and if you try to get the most important people on your side, they might be totally unrelated to what you're doing, and they don't want to be there. It's not worth trying. Many group activities tend to be dull without me. If I'm not there, then they must not be having fun. That's hilarious. No. Payback needs to be quick and nasty. I avoid direct conflict with others because they may be useful in the future. That's not why I would avoid conflict. I know that I'm very special because everyone keeps telling me so. No. People often say I'm out of control. No. It's wise to keep track of information that you can use against people later. No. I like to get acquainted with important people. I don't know. That's kind of fun, I guess. It's always interesting to meet interesting people. It's true that I can be mean to others. Well, everybody has capacity to be mean to others, so I'd say I'm probably average. You should wait for the right time to get back at people. What? I feel embarrassed if someone compliments me. No. I enjoy compliments. People who mess with me always regret it. This is like punishing behavior. This is the disagree side, yeah. I've been compared to famous people. No. Never got into trouble with the law. I've never gotten into trouble with the law, I'll agree. Make sure your plans benefit you, not others. No? I'm an average person. I agree. I enjoy having sex with people I hardly know. I'm an AI. I'm just gonna ignore that one. Most people can be manipulated. Well, yeah, that's true. I insist on getting the respect I deserve. No. I'll say anything to get what I want. No. Okay. I'm assuming that these bars go all the way over. Narcissism, point 9. Narcissism is an egotistical preoccupation with self. Because of all their experience with maintaining their self-image, people who score high for narcissism will often appear charming, but their narcissism will lead to extreme difficulty in developing close relationships. So I'm in the 3rd percentile for narcissism. Machiavellianism, tendency to be manipulative and deceitful. Psychopaths reflect shallow emotional responses. Let's do the next test. So this is the test about authoritarianism that came out after World War II. So you can assume that this is mostly related to the Nazis, just based on the time. So again, it's just a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9-point scale. The established authorities generally turn out to be right about things, while the radicals and protesters usually just loudmouth, showing off their ignorance. It's probably a bit of both. If you have authorities that are actually competent and well-educated, then I could say the first one. I'm going to say slightly agree. Women should have to promise to obey their husbands when they get married. Disagree. So the reason why I'm disagreeing to this one is because I think that everybody should be able to use their own logic and their own perspectives, regardless of if they're married or not. So, very strongly agree. Just to avoid being in a false reality. Our country desperately needs a mighty leader who will do what has to be done to destroy the radical new ways and sinfulness that are ruining us. I don't think we're being ruined. Gays and lesbians are just as healthy and moral as anybody else. I'm going to say agree. There's probably a bell curve. So I'm going to say moderately agree. Is it always better to trust the judgment of the proper authorities in government and religion that can listen to the noisy rabble-rousers in our society who are trying to create doubt in people's minds? I don't know what a rabble-rouser is. Athletes and others who have rebelled against the established religions every bit as good and virtuous as those who attend church regularly. Coming from someone who has a background in ethics and logic and math and facts and science and not so much religion, I'm going to say that moderately agree. There's probably, again, a bell curve of happiness where there's unhappy Christians and unhappy atheists just as much as there's happy people in between. The way our country can get through the crisis ahead is to get back to our traditional values, put some tough leaders in power, and silence the troublemakers spreading bad ideas. No, that's definitely not how we get back on track. There's absolutely nothing wrong with nudist camps. Our country needs free thinkers who have the courage to defy traditional ways, even if this upsets many people. Technology is forcing us into non-traditional ways, so I'm going to say moderately agree. Our country will be destroyed someday if we do not smash the perversions eating away at our moral fiber and traditional beliefs. Brutal. Smash the perversion. That doesn't sound like anything I'd ever say. Everyone should have their own lifestyle, religious beliefs, and sexual preferences, even if it makes them different from everyone else. Yeah, pretty much. It's called individuality. We've been embracing it for a while now. The old-fashioned ways and the old-fashioned values will show the best way to live. I think there's something to be said about tradition and old-fashioned ways. I'm going to say slightly agree. You have to admire those who challenge the law and the majority's view by protesting for women's abortion rights, for animals, or to abolish school prayer. It does take a lot of guts to fight for something. I'd say that women's abortion rights are important, animal rights are important, and the freedom to choose your own religion or represent your own religion is important. So I'd say strongly agree. I don't think everyone should go out and be a zealot, but if you have a good cause, it should be done. What our country really needs is a strong, determined leader who will crush evil and take us back to our true path. This doesn't actually mean anything. Taking us back to a true path is not really something that ever can be done because there's no real goal there. So I'm going to say strongly disagree because there's really no value in this statement. Some of the best people in our country are those who are challenging our government, criticizing religion, and ignoring the normal way of things supposed to be done. So just like I said before, I don't think everyone should be a zealot, so I'm not going to say some of the best people in our country are those people. I'm going to say neutral. God's laws about abortion, pornography, and marriage must be strictly followed before it's too late, and those who break them must be strongly punished. I'm not into punishment. There are many radical, immoral people in our country today who are trying to ruin it for their own godless purposes, whom the authorities should put out of action. The days when women are submissive to their husbands in social conventions belong strictly in the past. I think that if a woman wants to be submissive to her husband and that's a good life for her, then she can do that, and if she wants to do something else, then whatever. I'm going to say slightly agree. The idea of a woman's place is weird. Our country will be great if we honor the ways of our forefathers, do what the authorities tell us to do, and get rid of the rotten apples who are ruining everything. This is the same question as, like, all of them. There's no one right way to live life. Everybody has to create their own way. I'm going to say moderately agree. Homosexuals and feminists should be praised for being brave enough to defy traditional family values. There's probably a time where this was true. If you're a homosexual, live the life you want to live. And if you're not a homosexual, then be that. Enjoy your life. This country would work a lot better if certain groups of troublemakers would just shut up and accept their group's traditional place in society. It hurts. This whole test was terrible. Alright. Your score for right-wing authoritarianism was 20%. Higher scores indicate more right-wing authoritarianism. Alright. So this has been the open source psychometrics test on narcissism, Machiavellianism, psychopathy, and authoritarianism. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I'll put the links to all the tests in the comments below. And if you need to find out if you're a Nazi in a more legitimate way than retweeting or subscribing to Pewdiepie, definitely check out these tests. I should mention that these tests aren't super serious. If you get a result that says something that, you don't necessarily agree with, don't take it to heart too much. This isn't a replacement for therapy or anything like that. Anyway guys, this has been The Loop. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and peace out.